after what so far has been a pretty kind of outrageously variegated life, I've come to the conclusion, against all expectations, that, and it's not so much a conclusion as a clear seeing, that human beings, that the human creature is innately moral and benevolent. That the human being, every human being, is innately moral and benevolent. And yet something happens, and we all get the exact opposite of moral and benevolent. Human beings have become murderous, deceitful, self-hating, destructive, contradictory, greedy, lustful, deceitful, murderous. Did I say that already? Avaricious, narcissistic, crazy people. Not us, of course, but human beings. All we have to do is just read the newspaper, turn on the TV, go anywhere practically, and you see that the history of human development has led us to the point where it really is the truth that we have acquired the capability and the murderous intent to destroy humanity, to make it impossible for humanity to survive for much longer. An innately moral and benevolent creature. And it seems obvious to me that we're innately moral and benevolent because we talk all the time about morality and benevolence. Lions don't talk about that. Snakes don't talk about that. Snails don't talk about that. It's only us who talks about that. The rocks and the trees and the ocean, they don't talk about that. It's only us who talk about morality and ethics and benevolence and selflessness and love. So I infer that the only reason that could have happened is because it's our nature to be moral and benevolent, and loving and truthful and intelligent, sane. I believe what happened to us as a species, as the individual members of an entire species, I believe that what happened to us is that we were afflicted at some point early in our lives. I don't think there's any, spiritual or metaphysical dimension to our fall. I think that we were afflicted through no fault of our own, in fact, almost precisely because of the fact that we are humans with a vibrant and alive sense of self-consciousness. We were afflicted with a moment of terror that caused us to fear our own lives from then on out, which caused us to contract and pull away from life itself, human life itself, the human experience of life. Afflicted with an underlying contextual understanding that life is not to be trusted, that it's dangerous, that it is itself deceitful, deceives us with some sense that there's a great promise in being alive as a human being, and then crushes us with our own insanity, with the insanity of others. with the way in which we live our lives. And I believe that that has been the case for human beings pretty much from the beginning, although it's the complexity of the psychological effects of that fear of life have grown over time, over generation after generation, so that we find ourselves in a kind of swamp from which we don't even know we're in. A swamp of insanity, of fearfulness and distrust of our own lives. Convinced that there's something out there that's going to get me unless I figure out something to protect myself from it, or that there's something out there that can give me the true key to happiness and salvation and redemption. And that if I don't watch carefully every moment of my existence, every moment of experience, every experiential arising, if I don't watch it carefully, it may swallow me up, or it may fly away, taking what was the only chance I ever had finally to find satisfaction and fulfillment in human life. So I'm always watchful, always on the lookout. I acquire a extremely complex and elaborated psychological structure of conditioned behaviors and reactive traits and ways of understanding things and relating to things. All of which are self-destructive. All of which start with the premise that life itself is the problem that needs to be solved. And we've had, over the years, we've had a lot of people who have come to us and kind of indicated that that might be the case by holding out the promise that there might be something we can do, either something of a psychological or a philosophical or spiritual or a religious nature. There might be something that we could do, surrender to, that would finally, once and for all, bring us transcendence from these horrifying lives that we are stuck in and can't escape from. Or bring us the power to transform those lives and turn them into a more suitable vehicle for our journey through time here. But pretty much all of those solutions that have appeared among us and over this time, pretty much all of them, I can't think of any particular exceptions. Pretty much all of them are firmly seated in the contextual understanding that life is the problem. Either it's something to be escaped from, transformed, or transcended. And so we've become very skillful at incorporating the sharpest and clearest and brightest insights into the nature of reality and the nature of human existence, and hijacking them to the purpose that is my only purpose, which is to protect myself from this life. Or to find a way to escape from this life. So far, in all the thousands of years that we've been trying, all those thousands of years that we have been trying have brought us to where we are now. On the verge of fulfilling some apocalyptic prophecy about the inherent, the certainty of our extinction, the certainty of our annihilation. So it must be that we're doing something wrong. It must be that we're off on the wrong track somewhere, since every single means that has come before us presenting itself as a solution to the problem of human life itself has failed to solve the problem of human life itself. There may be those among us who have either stumbled upon the actual nature of human life, or who have, let's just settle with that. There may be those among us who have stumbled upon the actual nature of human life and discovered the richness of human life. Just as it is. Discovered its richness. Lost the fear of life. But they too seem to have done no good to get for the rest of us. There's 7 billion of us. I hear that just happened the other day. There are 7 billion of us on this planet. 7 billion. I suppose there might be, let me be really generous here, I suppose there might be 1 million people walking the face of the planet who are natural human beings. Unafflicted with the fear of life. Drop in the bucket. The rest of us are racing toward war, the destruction of the environment, the gathering together of all the wealth that possibly can be gathered together, the impoverishment of the majority, and all the other wondrous things that we love to do as human beings. So, first of all, the reason we're here is because I believe that the only problem, the sole cause of all human misery and self-destructive behavior, and the whole catalog of things that I ran through a little while ago, the sole cause of that is the appearance of the fear of life in us at an early age. And that the appearance of the fear of life has created the entire structure of neurotic, self-destructive, useless, insane ways in which we relate to each other, relate to ourselves, and relate to the world in general. I also believe that we have discovered the one simple act that actually does away with the problem, the fear of life.